Yeah, I'm just like I said, 2 years in now, finally this month, and no one tells you the do's and don'ts, what to look out for. There is so much that goes on, and I know you had some issue that we could touch base on. But I've also had my own
Yeah.
things that happened, cons and scums, and it took me like a year and a half, and I still get a little triggered. So hopefully, I will be not triggered.
Well, hey, that's totally fine. And I do want to get into that. I want to give you like your chance to like tell your story. Oddly enough, we have quite a few mutual friends, so like I want to just hear it from your perspective. You know what I mean?
Well, I will be very straightforward on any experience I had, but if I don't know something, I'll
Yeah,
tell you. I wouldn't know.
that's that's
Yeah,
perfectly fine. And if you're not comfortable answering anything too, that's
fine. I
uh
don't. I'm like go with the
okay.
flow. I'm freezing. Decided to wear this, so it's a little bit of tea and
Same. I got coffee, so we're on the same
yeah,
page.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So yeah,
first off, what should I call you? Or Nicole Butler,
you know
Nicole
what?
Vegas?
That's a confusing one, huh? Because I didn't know in this industry people are just going to call me Nicole Vegas. That's the only way that people know me. Even though it's you can look it up, Nicole Butler Vegas. I'm like married into this name now. At
Okay.
first, I'm like, that's not my name. I'm like, why are you calling me that? And people are like, well, we like it. So it's whatever people like, and I'm stuck with that
Yeah.
name now.
Yeah, I think for me the rule of thumb is kind of how people are introduce you. So like whatever you're introduced as is kind of ultimately what you got to roll with. Is there one you prefer?
No, but on my IMDb, it's Nicole Butler the ninth. But I think if they type in Nicole Vegas, it'll pop up too.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that's Nicole Vegas. I'm rolling with it now. It's my
Okay.
second year. Kind of
Why not?
yeah.
So before we jump into anything, how was Days of the Dead? I couldn't help but see all of your social media posts.
Let me
Looks
turn
like
this
you had a
on.
blast promoting
Oh
the
my god, it was amazing. I enjoyed except it was sold out the booth, so I'm glad I had one ahead of time. It was fun. Everybody was really nice there, but it's only once a year here.
yeah,
So I kind of threw it out there on the spot to Bill, like, hey, could you do it twice a year? I mean, I think once a year is too long away.
yeah. Well, especially for that area, I feel like in Houston we have multiple things pop up,
Yeah,
Dallas, Austin, so there's things to keep people entertained. I'm actually surprised there's not more there.
I am too. I don't know. I think the city's still growing and people are still connecting with each other. It's very transient here compared to say out in the country. People are very cliquey.
Yeah.
Here, everybody wants to know people. They want to be part of other groups. So that part's really important. I just never thought I'd go into that showbiz beforehand. Because my background is quite different. I've been out here 18 years. So law enforcement, I was a cop in North Las Vegas, a military veteran. I did the post office in a lot of community service. So my passion, I thought going into this would be for nonprofits, but this industry is very consuming, and at
Yeah.
times, I can't keep up.
So before we jump into that, because I
Yeah.
am I am definitely curious. I had heard about like that there was like some hubbub with Shawn at the event. Like he had an issue. He was escorted out. I've only seen from like third parties. So I was kind of curious as to
It was
what.
awkward. That was a situation. I was just, I don't know, something personal. And I get it now because it was a self reflection when I have something personal
Yeah,
instead of business. So people can't separate the personal issue with the business. And I think that was an eye opener on my self reflection. I do self reflection when I see something. I kind of do I do that? Am I like that? And I have been. I have been like that.
okay.
So personal problem.
Okay, I was just curious because
Nothing else.
Bill,
Yeah, that was awkward. That was awkward. But I don't want to put anything with somebody else's business there either.
fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
especially if it's a personal thing. The only reason I ask is because of the alignment with the film that's coming out.
Oh my
You
gosh, so
know,
many people wanted to see him too. So many. They were like, "Where is he?" I'm like, "Well, he's in Vegas." I don't know, because like things that happened were before my time.
yeah,
But I want to know too because I want to know what's out there and what to be aware of. And just because it happened to somebody else doesn't mean it's not going to happen to me. Uh, there's a production I was on, and I'm not going to name it because I'm trying to squash it. But I was very used, and they tried to take my money. It was a lot of money too. It was like $7,500.
yeah.
Oh, don't mess with my money, my time, my energy, or my family. because I live out here in Vegas. I'm like, you can run, but you can't hide. So I'm trying my best now not to have it personal. Everything was returned, but if I didn't document something, they would have kept it. They would have said whatever, and that would have sucked for me. I almost wanted to not work anymore in this industry because of it. I like to learn. I like to be part of the crew side too. It's not just in front of the camera. I want to learn all the nitty gritty dynamics of how everything comes together. But I'm telling you, it was not a good experience. But now I kind of intertwined with the one production, and I'm doing my best because I saw self-reflection now. Personal, and this is business. And that is really hard. And I am doing my best with how I handle things too. Cause I'm like, what's, and there's all different people. I don't think people teach you how, when all these people flood in or there's things happen before. And now I get it. Now I'm getting it. I'm getting what it makes sense now, but I didn't before until something happened. I'm like, oh, you know what? I can relate because I've had that happen, not with that person, but with this group. And yeah,
I think that like past experiences will kind of help navigate your way through the future.
Well, I think I needed that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm sorry to interrupt.
You're fine.
Because if I'm not aware of it, then it can happen to other people. And nothing, when I'm putting something on my name, is not going to happen on my set. There's nothing going to happen because I'm going to come for them. I'll document everything and they're going to be held accountable. I don't like that nonsense. I don't like selfish either, or they don't care. I care too much, probably. Maybe I don't know how to find that medium, too much caring. And that's my issue too, especially in this industry.
I want to jump back to kind of, law enforcement, male, and then ultimately you kind of got to acting.
Military veteran. I was in the
military veteran. Yeah. And you've been acting for 2 years now.
2 years.
But you're also a producer. So did you want to be a producer first and then actor second? Like, how did that all come to play?
No, I didn't. See, when I was a cop, I should have did a ride along first. I didn't know. I volunteered for this chemical agent base exercise that's once a year here. Met Corey Thompson, now my first acting friend. He's like, oh yeah, you should do Julie Goldman. I'm like, I don't even know who that is. But she had me right away then she got me on the cleaning lady set, the pilot. Mm-hmm. They're like, it's background. I didn't know what that means. None of those terms, nothing, zero registered. They bumped me with my first Taft-Hartley. They paired me with this young guy. And like I was mentioning to people, I said out loud, I didn't know. I go, is this a cougar scene? Because the guy was giving me like smolderly look. I go, I'm your mother's age. I said, don't even get fresh with me, but I'm going to hold your arm. Because they're saying to go to Mark 2, go to 3, reset. I'm like, I know what they're talking about. I was like, why can't you just talk normal? But that's the lingo.
Yeah.
First set, 12 hours. Found out those sets are cold too. Windy, cold. I was like, what? This is not nothing like I thought it was going to be. I kind of just got thrown into it. I want to put my toe in the water. I felt like someone pushed me, and then I was swimming and I didn't know where to swim to. And I was very exhausted. I say maybe the first 6 months to the first year, I hated it. I was like, this is the worst ever. I don't like any of it. But then it's because I didn't know anything, and it was so frustrating. And then people would lie about who they are. Yeah. And that's real. I go, now I'm going to be like, are you sure you want to stick with that story? Because I'm going to do some research. Like people they fake it till they make it. I said, you're going to fake it your whole life. You're not there yet. You can't say that because you're not even there yet.
Well, I didn't realize Vegas was such a hotbed for filmmaking. I do know a few directors there. Can you talk about working with Neil Breen and what that experience was like?
I always now learn, is it the Hollywood answer or the real answer?
I know both, so I want to hear yours.
Well, I'm learning these things. I think I could talk about it since the movie's released.
Yeah,
I think it is. So I went and he just explained he liked the look, and I didn't know what that look meant because at first when people said it, my hands on, I go, what do you mean by that look? Because anything I've ever done was based on skill, but then my acting was really horrible. I took a lot of acting classes, and I'm like, what's that look now? Because I gotta work on the acting skill. He liked the look, and then I met him. I gotta turn this off. And he, what did he say to me? He said, "Yeah, I like your charisma, like your good energy." He goes, "The look only gets you in the door, but after talking to you, they'll know right away. They'll know right away if they like you or not. It doesn't even matter with the audition because they'll work with you. They don't care." And I didn't know that. I was like, oh, there's all these. It was good. It was my first time working all green screen. And I didn't, I didn't know the lines before, he gave it to me right there and then to memorize. And then, those marks are green. And so it's a peripheral vision. I mean, you hit those marks and I didn't really know the whole area. It's all green. What am I in? I don't know. But everybody was really good. It was a good experience. I know he was funny with, Nicole, when you make a name for yourself. I think I was like, Neil, this is probably my last set. I'm done. I say to every set, I'm like, I'm done. This is probably the last one. Thank you for the experience, because this industry is something I can't map out. Anything I've ever had at any job, there's a sense of order, and there's no sense of order. It's such disarray. And I found out a type A person. I'm a type A person, and I like a sense of order or protocol or something, and it's out the door. So I'm trying to roll with this, which I'm not. I'm fighting against that current. I'm fighting, and it's tiring me out.
Well, jumping from Neil to Drew Marvick, he's out there too.
Oh my gosh, I haven't met him in person, but
Oh,
he's so
really?
funny. No, I
Yeah,
miss it every time. Every
Drew
time.
Drew is fantastic, and the Las Vegas Ripper. What do you know about the project? What can you tell us about the project? I know it's
Oh my
coming
gosh,
up.
no, I don't think it ever went through. At
Okay,
777. So that was the very first time I was introduced to like producing something. Right when I started acting too, I was like, you
yeah,
have to throw it all at me. And that I don't they were supposed to do fundraising, and I don't know why. I never actually talked to him in person.
okay.
We kept missing each other, or something came up, and it never happened. But I messaged him. I'd like to work with him. He's a lot of charisma. He's funny.
Yeah.
I like funny. He does some crazy poses on his Facebook. Like, oh my, this is crazy.
He's one of the good ones. I can promise you that. I'm gonna see him this weekend, so I'll put in a good word.
It's like, I'll do PA work. I'll take out the garbage. I'll scrub it. Whatever they want me to do. I've done a lot of PA work. Yes.
And
For free.
so,
I'll volunteer for a set for free. See?
yeah, I want to talk a little bit about your two producing credits from 2022. House in Time,
Oh yeah.
the mystery of clandestine.
So that's the thing too. I don't think some of them will ever get the House in Time was phenomenal. He did really good.
Yeah,
Like he did really, really great. But the other, so that's a hard thing too. When people add it and you try to take it away, they can mess with your account and freeze
yeah,
your account. So I'm like, don't add me. Don't, if you're going to add me, talk to me before you add anything. I didn't know. I was so new.
yeah,
I'm afraid to try to mess with it. And so those the House in Time, great. I love the concept. Mindy, I think there's the main actor. She's moving to Georgia. I never met her in person, but yeah, Jeremy Settle's got films. I'm hoping he does well, so we can give other smaller indie filmmakers opportunities to be part of something. I just didn't know the process.
yeah,
Like I said, I do nothing. It's like me handing you a gun and a badge and saying, go ahead, go clear a house or go rest. I didn't know anything. I had not an inkling. No, I didn't want to be an actress before 2 years ago.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
didn't care about being an actress. I liked the nonprofits, and I was building a platform to connect people that way. But then this industry is so confusing. Like, and it's like confusing, and it's also very consuming.
yeah.
It takes so much, and it can be lonely too. People don't tell you about that part. It's like so isolating sometimes, especially when there's something that goes on and people aren't understanding because they haven't experienced it yet.
Yeah, and you don't know who to turn
Yet.
to. Who's
Yeah, like,
who's the right side? Yeah, I totally get that. I want to kind of jump into like the meat and potatoes, I guess, of this discussion. You have a lot of films in production with Shawn, and before we dive into the films, can you talk a little bit about how you met Shawn, and why you continue to work with him ultimately?
okay. So I met Shawn on Woods Witch. That was the first one. That's after I got burnt from another
Yeah,
production, and I was like, I'm done, I'm not. And then I said, I can give 300 because I know you have to raise the money so you can hire the celebrities, because some of them are like 4,000 a day. Some of them are 25,000 for cameo parts. It's ridiculous how pricey, and that's just for the talent. The locations are about 1,500 to 2,000. The equipment, the food, the transportation, it's ridiculous. I had no idea until recently. I was like, wow, this is crazy. He reached out to me. He wanted me to do Amityville Karen, but I was already on another set. I was contracted. I couldn't miss it because then they'll get me. I have to be responsible. no matter how fun something else is. But I got to work on their set. It was my first one, and I was very nervous. I didn't know anybody on that set except for Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, yeah.
And shout out to him. I did call him yesterday. Nobody, but straight to voicemail. I messaged him, and I feel really bad. I'm hoping he's doing okay. I hope he pulls through. But
We're all thinking about him.
But I like Shawn. He's funny, but the person that he was partnered with, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem on that one. I had a problem on Pay to Die, where I was getting sabotage and self-projection, and I was very explanatory to that person who did that to me. Apologized at first, but then did something with the campaign, was campaigning the same time we are. Because I was like, person was begging to have help, and I would have gave help, but don't be selfish and have it just about you. Don't take someone else's part away. Don't make them dress to a turtleneck because you're being insecure. That was not cool. I don't like stuff like that. And it puts me in a bad predicament though, because if they stayed together, I would have worked anymore. I would have been done. So when you're partnered with somebody else, that can be hard too, if they're not on the same page. And somebody else drags their feet, or somebody else is not getting it done, but you're partnered with them, that could be very hard. So there's a lot of things happening where the person wasn't going on script.
Yeah.
And it made it all about that person. And you can't have that. And you can't take other people's lines because you don't want them in it anymore. It doesn't work that way. So that was really they show who they really are, and you get to see it behind the scene. And I didn't like that. It wasn't good. And I stepped up, taking out the garbage, helping out. So people are handing me their garbage. I go, actually, I'm helping produce this. I was like, wait a minute. But you can't work with people that don't care. If it's only about them, that I'm done. It can't be that way. It has to be team efforts. And you can't be changing that script last minute, all improv. That doesn't count either. That's sloppy.
I agree. Yeah,
I know. That's why I was like, so I talked to Shawn, and when he reached out to me, I said, can you have it in Vegas? I was like, can you please have it in Vegas? I'm more connected out here. And I have my 11-year-old, I don't want to leave him behind. We have 2 grown sons. And he said, yeah. And I went, it took me 3 weeks to lock down the locations, LLC, the paperwork, the insurance. It has to be done right. So we had a lot of talking of what we both share, with everybody being part of it. It can't be one main person taking up all the camera time. That's not right. And you can't have them drag through their feet too. The editing, I said, I had tons of editors. Hold my nose right here. So the guy is going to put it after we complete the filming, 2 weeks, clean it up. He have a sound guy that's going to be at the post-production of it. His name's David Rodriguez. He has 14 Emmys. He works a lot on Warner Brothers. I went to his studio. I took Shawn there. Very good sound. You need good sound.
Yes.
I'm really particular. I mean, I'm the opposite. Shawn says the very opposite. I said, well, I don't know if I should be the opposite. I'm like the extreme the other way. I want things done early. I want things organized. I want a folder of everybody's going to be on there. I got to make sure that, emergency contact. I got to see what their food allergies are, diabetes. It has to be done correctly. If if we're outside, we're going to have warmers, hand warmers, tea. We're going to have food. It cannot be sloppy.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Because I would never want to support something that I wouldn't support or give or do. If I'm doing it, I'm doing it all the way. I'm fully committed. And that part is a lot of work though. It was like a lot of work, but I was working diligently to make sure things were done correctly. People were like, well, what about the hotel? So I gave them Groupon deals, $40 a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, beat stuff like that. And that's with the resort fees. So like Stratosphere is a really good deal. My husband works at the airport, so he can go right up to them right at the gate, come get them, get their bags and take them.
Yeah. You got to love Vegas.
Very accommodating.
I agree. You mentioned Woods Witch, and so I'm gonna rapid fire here real quick.
Okay.
What's the status on Woods Witch?
So right now Shawn was putting the push on the person he's working with. I know I try not to be too much. You already know.
Yeah.
And the dragging the feed is so now right now they're doing the editing. He's working with the editor right now, but she wanted to pick the editor.
Gotcha. Okay.
She's wanting to do all this stuff, and Shawn is gonna grow a pair. It's growing a pair right now because too much of a pushover. And he said, I'm done with it. And I said, anytime you want to work with anyone. I'm a safe woman. I've been married 25 years with my husband and kids. I'm not going to manipulate anybody.
Yeah.
I said, let them come through me, Shawn. I will scope out if they're using or manipulating, because a lot of women do that in this industry. It's so disgusting. But yeah,
Understood.
I can't stand that part. And then they just don't even lift a finger. Here I am with 2 big garbage bags, or I carry 20 cases of water, 20 by myself. And then people are like, do you need help? I said, I needed help an hour ago. Okay, up these stairs, I'm like, worst stairs ever. But they know that they're getting taken care of. Somebody didn't have medicine. I ended up paying for their medication. They couldn't afford it. People are upset about something else. You have to care, or I think it catches up. No one's going to want to be part of something where someone doesn't care.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I don't want to be part of any production now. So I'm very careful now with a lot of people coming up to me like, oh, I saw you help Shawn. Can you help me? I'm like, I don't know you. I've never worked with you on set. I was like, who are you? I go, let me see your IMDb page. What work have you done? And they haven't done anything. I said, wait, I have been busting my butt for 2 years. And you want me to do all this extra? No, I'm not doing
Yeah.
it.
What about okay, the status of Mistletoe Massacre? Are we in this similar boat with that one?
Yeah, they're working out, but gotta work with somebody that works diligently, not drag their feet. Very last minute, the other person, nope, last minute on everything. So Shawn's like, I was having a nervous breakdown working with somebody that is such a procrastinator. I'm not a procrastinator though.
Yeah.
So I'm done. I have a list of everything. Like I said, the opposite, maybe too much, because Shawn's like, people are wanting to know more stuff. He goes, we would lock down that location from the March 26th to April 6th.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I locked down everything, like the times, the flight of people need help, because that's what I seen was lacking when I went to other places.
And lastly, pay to die.
Yes. So yeah, it takes the other person to make sure they step up. So I told Shawn, I said, it's gonna make that person look bad when we're finishing everything done. We have our own people that we're working with. I cut away from all the sloppiness people, or don't care, or maybe even like with the AD that they had on Pay to Die, that guy first time doing it. You can't have first time doing AD on
Yeah.
big. It doesn't work out. So yeah, that was rough. That was I'll share that on off this. Yeah, I can tell everything. Yeah, it was not good either.
Yeah. So, another thing I want to talk about is, the perk of like being a vlogger or being a newscaster.
I'm
You know,
not a, not a so I think they're gonna just film it from their home.
yeah,
Which makes it easy, because then they're not gonna be nervous. I think that's for somebody that would be afraid to be in front of the camera. So when the people buy the perks to talk, I connected with my acting coach, Frank Perillo. He has Dream Tracks out here. So anybody that needs that, he will go out of their way to make sure that they have the understanding of what to prepare for that character role. And I'm also going to put out there too. My dog's driving me
it's
nuts.
all
I won't,
good. It's all good.
yeah, I
I
won't.
can barely hear it, so we're good.
Well, I can hear it. And I'm going to do table reads, and if people need rehearsals, they can talk. I took a lot of acting classes from a lot of different people. I even flew a LA talent coach from LA for 3,000. Booked him. Want to learn. I'm really. It can't just. Yeah, learn the pay. People are like, pay to play. Yeah, because you could take acting classes. You could do $1,000 showcase for yourself, and all these things, and never get seen. So this is opportunity, and I'm going to get a photographer for the still pictures. And I have 2 talk show hosts that are going to be on my set, because I think people lack the marketing part of it. They don't know how to market themselves. So I'm doing as best as I can with making sure everything is done accordingly, with a little bit more, because I really want to have people have a good experience. Nothing like I had to experience on something. And I know there'll be hiccups on set, but nothing that I will create.
Yeah. Well, I have to give you props there, because I did notice that this one, Desert Fiends, it was limited. So there was only so many vlogger roles available. A lot of times those aren't limited. They'll take as much money as they can and run. So exceptional move on your part.
Yeah, well, that's Shawn and stuff like that, because he knows the dynamics. When I had talked with him, I really I didn't realize, like, when we did demos and like back and forth with like Ling, they're pricey.
Yeah.
Michael Madison wanted 25K for a cameo, like 25. I said, this is an indie film. This is an indie film. Like, what? So the camera, everything, I think is gonna be allocated. I know Neil Patel wants to help with the post-production. I want to submit it to film festivals, and the red carpet event will be at the Galaxy Theater with that Getty Images. That's my thing. Unless the other one at the art house, that's nice too, but it has stairs. I want stairs. Sometimes I want something that's really accessible. And then I would love for this one, and I've been talking to people like with Brett Wagner, Leatherface, I want to have booths at conventions. I want people to meet the team, like similar to Terrifier, they're a group. And people love meeting horror people. Like I was at that Days of the Dead event, and they're like, how much is it for a picture with you? I go, your lucky day, it's free. I was like, it's free because I didn't earn anything yet. I was like, I'm still working really hard. Then people are like, oh, you're so, and I'm like, no, I'm just a housewife and mother. And like, you're so modest. I go, no, really, that's what I am. I was like, I'm learning a lot to learn, but I want to do it efficiently without getting crazy for my family. I was like, I was running late today. I know you posted something. I was like, oh my goodness, it's all
good.
It was rough.
with Bei Ling, she was cast in your film, and then also she recently left.
For that, I was waiting for that. I didn't know it was gonna be that soon. I thought it was gonna fall apart of the set because I know how that other person is. Doesn't lift a finger and takes all the credit. That doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So when someone's trying to, a lot of things going on there that I promise Bei Ling I wouldn't share, but oh yeah, goodies. I knew it. I just didn't know she was like done with that before it even started.
That was kind of, was she already involved with your project or
no.
Okay.
Bei Ling is so sweet, and she has people skills, charisma. She embraces people, and I want friendly on the set. I don't want to be like too good. I'm too good for a picture with you. I'm like, I don't like that.
Well, and you kind of touched on a little bit about building this team. Are you still casting for the film? It seems
you
like
might have one or two. I didn't know so many people wanted to be on it, so I was like, Shawn, it could be bigger than what you thought, and it's going to be more work. So it's more work, more responsibility. That's all I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like it's so much responsibility and so much work. I'm not going to enjoy it, but everybody else will. Like I did for the PTA. Went from like 20 booths, and I got on board to 120 in the news, talking and walking. I didn't have fun. I didn't eat, but everybody else for months on end were so happy. I was like, I don't want to do that again. I was like, that was so, because I want to enjoy some things too, but you can't. If you're responsible and you're in charge, or you're putting something, it's gonna fall on you. And so that part is gonna be really like, oh, I'm glad everybody else is gonna have fun.
Well, the reason I ask is because it seems like every week there's someone new being added. And like it is
a lot of people, huh?
Well, is the script already complete?
So for that thing now, he's working on the perks. He has to put the perks in there. So he had a revised draft, but he doesn't have a complete one because it's putting the perks in now and make sure that it goes with the storyline. There's not going to be much improv on this one. Sorry, people. We're sticking with the script this one.
Well, that's what I was nervous about, because Shawn is kind of notorious, and his most recent partner, for
all out the door with all the lines. I can't do that because I took a lot of time to make sure things were. I mean, the first one I had like a lot of dialogue. That's but it does throw you off, especially if you're not used to being on set. And I'm okay with improv though. You know what?
Yeah,
I'm all right, but it can't just be about one person going off on a tangent. It can't be like that. It's everybody's part. No one's going to go into somebody else's part. And that's what I seen was happening a bit. And Shawn and I talked. He knows exactly my vision of what I need on my end. I know what he needs on his end. And I told him, I said, don't let anybody walk all over you. You know that I'm not going to make it all about me, because it's not about me. Thank you for, wanting to do a project with me, especially in Vegas. It's his first time. I said, Shawn, you're taking a chance with somebody only 2 years in. I'm only 2 years in. I was like, but they saw what I can do. Every set I've ever been on, I've always stepped up. I made sure people were taken care of.
So I guess why not hire a script writer, or a writing team?
Well, I looked into that too, and we don't have that much. Oh my gosh, I just can't today. I'm like, that dog is not getting a treat today, like Bruno. So I did talk to some people, and they're going to be coming out for the whole 2 weeks, like Erica Dreyer. So she can help making sure that they're sticking to the script. The AD now, we're really going to be really careful. First AD, there's a lot of people that do have good background that I forwarded to Cameron. Because I go, I'm going to search first. We cannot have somebody that's a slacker, new, never worked on a feature film, and this is going to have 100 plus.
Yeah.
It has to be done right. And I don't want to, if it's not, see another, they have to answer me like, you're not putting work on me. Like, and, and I don't want scrambling. So there's apps for AD. There's wow, that's a lot of distractions, huh? Talking over that. So the AD, you'll have the app. It's like $45, and they'll talk, the weather, the location, the sides for the day, and if it's diligently, I mean, there's gonna be people that are gonna be nervous. They just are, because they're not gonna know people. So I'm gonna talk to them ahead of time. Introduce myself, and if anything's going on, at least they know they can come to me. And that's the most you could do. I've been to sets where they don't even, I don't know who's who. We're having badges too, that are around our neck, so they know who the crew is. So they're not like, I don't know who to talk to.
Yeah.
That part's really important. I'm gonna have talent release forms where they're gonna take a picture next to it. That's right. Everything's gonna be done accordingly. But I think for the most part, it's really having an understanding that no nonsense.
Yeah.
Zero nonsense, actually. I want people that want this, and they want it for not just the experience, but to build their talent. That part's really important to me.
Well, yeah, it sounds like all of the ducks are accounted for here.
Not always though, are they? They look like they are. They better stay in the row. I'll have to be like assertive.
I do know though that one question is looming, and I know that this is going to be the one that gets asked. Shawn, he is guilty of not delivering perks in the past. So why should people trust, this film, or that they will actually receive their perks this time? And can you guarantee that the film will get made?
Oh yeah, because I have money put aside, my own money. If somebody doesn't have money and you're working with somebody, no, then I wouldn't trust it. I have my own money, and my husband's backing me. I was like, this is going to cost enough, but we should be diligently do it right. And I'm just having a list. I'm going to have everything printed out, and I'm going to talk to everybody. They're going to have my information. So anything that didn't feel right, they have to speak up right there and then. Know when they're getting their perk done, they have to be able to speak up, because too little, too late after everything's filmed.
Yeah.
Hey, when's this happening? But if someone's with somebody else and they're dragging their feet, it's going to take a long time, because those smaller perks are not put into the very end.
Yeah.
They will cut out all the crap that they extra filmed, and then they will put in those perks, and they'll do a circle around for the voiceovers. That's at the very end. Everything's cut, and then they'll put the smaller ones are at the very, very end. I know.
You can understand that perspective though. It's hard to put faith into someone that has so many active campaigns, and only so many projects get fulfilled or completed.
Oh no, he has to, because I'm part of the other ones too. So I'm gonna do the hammer fist. And I know where they both live. So no.
Speaking of,
no, I have a lot of lawyer friends and
I know.
yeah. But it's the thing is, and I told Shawn, I said, once we get things rolling and completed, it's going to make her look bad, because that's the one who's holding it up right now.
Gotcha.
Get it done.
I speaking of the hammer fist, I did see a few of your comments in the discussion on the campaign, and your go.
Oh, I was mad. I was like, you know what? I could have been PMSing that week. But for someone to act that way, I was like, I don't like when people are, hey, be legit on something, but if you're just doing it to be a troll, I'll troll you back. And I bet mine's truth.
Yeah, I like your go-to insult, twats. I
did. I was like, I'm done with twits and twats. I'm done with them. And then I've had so many people too, didn't do anything wrong, help them out, and then they got insecure or nasty, or it had nothing to do with me. But whatever you do, some people haven't done enough, and they will self-project. They're like, how are you getting this? I should be getting this. What the heck?
Yeah.
So that part, I'm pretty straightforward though.
Yeah,
but, that like, talk nice, like talk because he's a type B person, and I just filter it all out. I'm like, listen here, and I can back it up. I have documentation. I said nothing that I'm saying that I can't back up.
Yeah.
I can forward it all. Some goody stuff. Oh yeah, but then nobody likes it when you can back it up. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, all day long. I have a lot of energy too. So I was like, I will come and keep coming.
When when you do comment though, I did notice you're commenting mostly under your husband's name.
That's the
And
only thing because he logged in. But
yeah,
I explained it was Nicole Vegas, and
you
he
did.
did.
You
I
did.
know, yes.
But he's listed as a backer. So I guess my question though is why put the money in under his name versus just like having,
because I usually after the 25 years, he just does the finances. I say, Kevin, send an email out, Kevin, pay for that.
Yeah. Well,
I
I get that. What I'm saying is like it from an outsider's perspective, it kind of looks like it's being like funneled, like it's like taking money from one thing and putting it into
no, I don't do it like some of those other productions. Yeah, the scums and scams and manipulate and make it look so much more. No, everything in there is legit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't know how they funnel it though. I would like to know.
I can talk to you about that later.
Okay, yeah. I want to know because I found that out with another production, and I was like, I don't. Just like with anything, like fake likes, fake followers, I'm like, what the heck? What is real anymore? So that part is very exhausting to me. So I'm putting everything I can in to make sure it's done right. I just want something that's credible, that people can be proud of and be part of. And then, will I do it again? I don't know. It won't be right away because I would be burnt out. I would be so tired. I would be so tired. I'm already tired. I was like,
the reason why I had asked that was because I had heard through probably a lot of the same people that we know that Shawn did have money left over from Amityville Karen. Okay. And I was curious if maybe he pivoted that money into this production.
No, nothing.
Okay.
From scratch. Yeah. No, that'd be nice. We would even have more of that. I'm like, yeah, that would be good. If there's truth behind that, give me some of it. Yeah. No, from what he told me, because I didn't realize how much things were. The locations out there were even more expensive to lock down. Some of the talents out, they're really pricey. I didn't know, like 4,000 a day. There's a good one coming on. It's a secret one. But people will be really excited for this particular actress that's not listed because it's going to be surprise. There's going to be a couple surprise ones because that's fun. Yeah. But the rest, I was like, Shawn, don't hire any more talent. I'm like, you know what I mean? We got to make sure we stay on the budget here. Yeah. Because but he never, as far as I know, he's never taken anything. If anything, there's another person probably took stuff that should be split between them too. But
gotcha. Understood. Yeah. Understood. Yeah. Reading between the lines.
I know. See?
So lastly, I have to ask, this has been fairly civil, right? We're on the same page, you and I.
I can wait because I can relate.
Yeah.
I can relate in every single way. Every single way. And at first I didn't know because I was like, what's going on? And I just saw stuff and I wasn't making sense because I get pulled in so many different directions. There's people always messaging me or tagging me or I'm restricted because I added too many people to a group page. So I can't, I can't interact.
Well, my question is ultimately is if you will put in a good word for Shawn, I'll ask him the very similar questions, if not more like a little what do you call it, softball, more softball questions ultimately.
Yeah. So he gets the softball ones?
Well, I mean, I don't you're 2 years in. You're 2 years, but that's really all I have. I really do appreciate your time. Your explanations were fantastic. I appreciate you being forward, even though sometimes
I did back. Actually, I want to share all of my stuff I had to experience, but that's not for that. This is for you to understand and know who I am. But things do happen. Do not do that on somebody else's dime. And also be careful who you do partner with, because I heard with other people that they partner with that they take it or they steal things or there's something going on. But it's weird because you don't know until you actually see it in person. You're like, oh, I see what's going on here, and I hate that part. That's the only thing I don't like in this industry. And so far, I've only worked with Shawn on those indie films because you can have fun with it. I like my bottle smashing part. Someone
Yeah.
paid for that perk. I just wish people didn't have self-serving motives or the procrastination, because they could have built something if they were doing it right. But if someone on the other end doesn't do it right, it really puts a damper on the whole production. It's like, get it done. And that part, I'm not holding Shawn back. I'm like, I'm gonna push him forward. I'm like, go, move, and he's getting it. He got to spend time with me. He knows exactly how I am now. And I'm hoping he's talking to Eric. We're gonna do that rough cut. That rough cut, actually, he's gonna do a reel for it. I already talked to the sound guy, David Rodriguez, so he's gonna help us. And the reason why he wants to help us too, I'm friends with him. Known them before I started showbiz. I just didn't know what he did. He's like, oh, come to my studio. I'm like, and I put it out for a couple of years. I'm like, you know what? Like you said, you're a sound guy.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. You really need that kind of stuff to make sure it's done right. Cinematic, make sure the editing's done right, and then market it afterwards. But for people to get that, it's really important. So everything has to get that. It has to get done. And they could reach out to me anytime they need to. So
Well, I like to hear that. It sounds like Shawn has the right girl or right woman.
Grown woman. I'm a grown woman. I'm in my 40s.
Well, he has the right person in his corner. And because everything you're saying, I really like to hear. And I think maybe that might have been one of the things that he was missing, was that guidance, or that, he had.
Well, it couldn't be self-serving, and I think he was getting manipulated.
Yeah.
Which really sucked. There's more to it, but he told me to horrible, actually. It really pissed me off. So no, there's consequences for people that are like that. So I hope that person learns their lessons and gets things done that they need to get done, because the ball's in their court. Let's go. Get them moving.
Excellent.
Get them moving, because I'm moving. I move quicker than that. They're like, oh, this is done before that. He was partners with me. Yeah. And it needs to be done. So I'm going to be on it, like fire to the butt. I'm gonna light that fire. Go get it with a smile. Sometimes I get upset. I smile. I'm like, yeah, let's go. But the rest, yeah, I mean, I'm still learning, and I don't ever want anybody to feel like I was made to feel.
Yeah.
So that part, to me, welcoming, nice and friendly. I know people will be tired, but there will be food, there'll be breaks. There's no reason to treat somebody poorly unless someone stole something or slept with somebody they shouldn't, or is doing, substance abuse or something. There has to be something that's withstanding. Get it done, because that's people's names and reputation, and people won't know the whole circumstance until they do take, and they really pay attention. Because a lot of people, I think they act a certain way, but they're not like that. It's so confusing. That's the only thing I can't stand about this industry, and it drives me nuts. Like, it really ruffles me up a bit.
It will come out. So
it will. I know it will. And maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there's a reason to kind of navigate through those waters, and to really take charge and make sure they can hide from me all they want. See, I don't hide. I didn't do anything wrong to anybody. If anything, people used and abused and took advantage of me. But even when they do, that's on them. That's their karma. I'm a community service. I'm always going to help people out, but there will be a limit. And once they do that one-way street, I'll put that roadblock up. I'm done with that. That's I'm not doing that. I'm not picking up somebody else's mess in their pieces. Get it done. It'll keep going right back to them. Return that to sender each time and make them be accountable. But yeah, I'm heading out to California this next week. My son's getting his head cast, the 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a lesson in this upcoming feature film. And I'm worried a little bit because he's 11. I'm overly watch, I don't want any weird, if there better not be any pedophiles or I will come for them. It won't be good. I could be arrested. Maybe I don't finish the film. Who knows? Things change the circumstance. So when it comes to my kids, no logic, no analytical thinking. It's out the door. But anything else, I usually remain calm, like this. But when it comes to my kids, I get or my money or my family, something with that. Yeah. All out the door. There is no holding anything back. My son graduates from Marine boot camp. We get to see him next week, so I'm very excited about that. He had something happen too. All out the door. I mean, something could happen. I'm not around anymore, so hopefully everybody is good enough. Because when it comes to my family,
Well, Nicole, here at Set It Up, we let the doers know how they're doing. and you are doing just fine. I appreciate all of your time, all of the stories. I learned so much today.